Hey everybody, it's Justin from Bitterbuilt, and I was using my router table the other day with some templates, and as I was going through with stuff, I noticed my fingers were really close to a very powerful spinning blade, and I don't like that. So I was thinking, what can I do safety-wise? Of course, some of us will glue or screw on a block of wood to our templates, but it makes it big and it's a whole process. So I want to design something that's reusable that I can implement. Maybe I make a whole array of different things, different items for different jobs. And what we're going to do is print that with the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. I've had this for about 3 months. This is very much the type of 3D printer I like to show on my channel because I'm very much a beginner in the 3D printer world. I've only about a year or so. I'm not a huge techie, but I do see the value here in the wood shop that this brings. And so I like doing videos with 3D printed stuff in it to show you like, hey, look, we can make all sorts of holders and adapters and specialized things here just to make things in the wood shop safer and easier. And so this machine, very much a tool to me. I took it out of the box, no assembly needed. It was printing great right away, and I haven't had a failed print in 3 months with it. So to me, that is a huge success. And at $279, it is a very affordable 3D printer, considering it has all the bells and whistles of the top tier guys. Also, it prints things like carbon fiber. So we are going to print carbon fiber. This is like my new favorite thing to make stuff out of. It is very cool. And Elegoo is actually going to give away one of these in this video. So stay tuned till later in the video. I'll give you all the info for you to enter into that drawing, and maybe you'll win a cool Christmas present. But let's get to designing our holders. Today on Bitterbuilt. Okay, so when approaching this design, I was trying to think, I like handles. Can I attach a handle on here? Not without some sort of second piece or using screws or bolts and things. And I want everything to be very finger easy to attach. I don't want to have to use screws and things. So regular handle is out. And so thinking about that two-piece method, it dawned on me that I have a whole bunch of action cameras, GoPros type of stuff that I use for filming my YouTube videos. And they have a whole ecosystem of attachments. And so this to me seemed like a really good starting off point for design. So with these types of attachments, you have a base plate, and it's this pretty small thing. So if we permanently attached this to one of our pieces, it would not add an incredible amount of height to it. And then on the other side, you have a clip, and this clip has two prongs with a trough. You can put them together and then they're attached, and then you just use your fingers to pinch that prong and it will come apart. So this seemed like a pretty good way to start off with a production basis. So I went looking, and there are a ton of 3D print files all over the place because of course people are looking for ingenious ways of attaching these cameras to things. And so I'm going to grab a clip file from somebody who has posted it up there, designed it, and put it that it's allowed to be remixed, which is what it's called when you take somebody else's file and then change it around and stuff. So we're going to remix somebody else's file. This is a great thing when you're very new to 3D printing, to 3D design, and you want to make your own thing. Start with an existing file and change it into the thing that you want to do. So I'm going to start with a clip, and we're going to use that as the basis for all of our handles that we're going to design. So we're here in Tinkercad, and this is my first attempt that we're going to do. We're going to do a whole bunch of different designs and just see what works. It's fun and easy to just make some stuff printed out and see how it feels in your hand and whatnot. So my first thought is to mimic the handle that I showed. And so I've imported my clip that someone designed. It has all of the correct grooves down in the bottom so that it'll meet with our clips and things. And so when I wanted to make a handle for it to connect two of these clips, I grabbed this guy over here, dragged it out to the length of my hand. So I made it about 5 inches or so. And then I grabbed another one and I made it a hole. So this will remove material. And so I made it about yay big. And then when I combine the two of these together, so if I just select both and I union group them, it basically deletes everything that's, under there. So you can see it's a It's a handle and a little archway. So delete that one. So we have our archway. I added a couple blocks in just for additional support wherever I could get it on top of that clip. Before we get printing that file, let's take a look at this machine. It comes fully assembled out of the box exactly like this, and it utilizes the superior Core XY design that all new printers utilize these days. It's fast at 500 MMS with 20K acceleration. It has a large build volume of 256 by 256 by 256. Its construction is die-cast aluminum in the frame, and then it has glass for its front door and its top lid. It has an interior camera with light. It has a dual-sided print plate, an advanced cooling system with filter in the back. The full-color touchscreen is incredibly responsive and has everything in its menus to be able to utilize the printer without an additional machine if necessary. USB port in the front, which is a small thing, but I love that. And at $279, this is the most affordable of the Core XY printers, yet it is still incredibly feature rich. The build construction is very nice. And like I said at the beginning, I've had great success using this directly out of the box without having to do bed leveling, without having to play with all sorts of other stuff that I have experienced with other printers in this category. So I like that it just works for me. It's a great tool. And let's go ahead and get to actually printing our project. All right, so we have our first print here. This one's a little bit rough. I definitely printed it in the wrong orientation, so we'll fix that on the next one. In any case, we still have our template for us to be, able to experiment with. So for me to mount this down, since this has two clips on it, I'm going to go ahead and pre-attach two of my bases. I have some of the adhesive stickies on here. Okay, so I have full control over it. It feels really good in my hand. I will point out, though, that the whole idea behind this was for me to get my hand away from the blade. And because this is a very small template, my hand is literally going to hit the blade if I were to use this one. So this design might be useful for a bigger template, especially because then I'd have a lot of control with 2 points attaching to it. I do see one giant design flaw, though, and that is because I have two clips. How am I going to get this off easily? I guess I have to clip both at the same time. And yes, it does come off. But I think that is not a great, easy way to do it. So maybe what I might do is remove the latching mechanism on the back clip. That way it will still insert back here. And I can use it for vertical hold down. Notice it won't come up out of this clip. And it won't move backwards because this front one will be locked in. But as long as I just undo this first one, it would fully slide out a lot easier. I don't think we actually need the locking mechanism on the back one as well. Let's go ahead and try something maybe with a single clip. Okay, so since the two clip design didn't seem to work out so well, let's try a single clip. So we're gonna just go with a single post coming off of here, basically like a joystick that I can hold on to. But the optimum, size that I want to grab in a tube is a little bit bigger than this clip would allow. If I were to just put this right on top of it, it would actually interfere with the function of the clip. So I'm going to do this first with a smaller cylinder, and then I'm going to put the other cylinder intersecting with it right on top. That way it kind of raises it up a little bit until I get past the clip. All right, so my next print, this one came out beautiful, and I really, really like this carbon fiber texture. It is nice. I have never used this filament type before, particularly because I didn't have 3D printers with a hardened nozzle that could print this without it wearing down that nozzle right away. So this is really cool stuff. And the reason why we used the carbon fiber on this, which technically it is PETG-CF, so it's PETG with carbon fiber added to it. The carbon fiber adds strength and rigidity to it. So this is a very tight prong. It wants to go back to its previous shape, but it is still flexing a lot, and it needs to be able to survive me flexing this again and again and again 1,000 times. Otherwise, it's not reusable. If it wore out quickly, this wouldn't work for this type of application. So I want something that's going to snap in and really hold things down, because again, we're using this for a safety thing with a power tool right here. I don't want this coming unclipped when I don't want it to come unclipped. So this, to me, I think is a great filament for this. As far as the design goes, I like this design. I designed it so that it was a good circumference here, so that it was something solid. If you had it, you know, as a little dinky stick or too big, it wouldn't be comfortable in the hand. I could put my hand higher up here, so if the blade is right here, I'm kind of getting a little bit more distance from it. I could even put two of them right here, and, you know, two-handed joystick type of thing. So this is pretty cool. I like this. I definitely give this a pretty high mark. Let's try something different, because I just want to keep trying different styles and see what works for me in the applications. Let's try something that's a lot shorter than this pretty tall one here. Well, that last pillar design worked well, but it is a little bit big, so let's try something smaller. Maybe that might be something that's better. So I'm going to raise again with just a small cylinder. This time I'm going to go with a sphere, and, you know, think about maybe like your shifter knob, old style car. Having this be a small sphere that we can grab onto might give us the control we want, but maybe a quick print, doesn't take up a ton of space, and it'll still get the job done. Well, we've gone small. The print itself is super nice. I really like how it came out. It looks perfect all the way around, so that's pretty nice. I don't know about the small. So when we click this in, maybe I made the ball too small. I didn't want to make it too big, because then you're doing something like this. Overall, though, I feel like my fingers are still close to the action, close to the danger here. And I think I want the opposite out of this. If this was something that we were trying to permanently mount on here, small has a reason to it. But since this is a two-part clip system, there isn't a reason for me to go small, I think. I think I want a big handle that keeps my hand safely out of the way. So I think on this one, this wouldn't be as good of an idea. Last design, I wanted to try something that would get my hand away from things a little bit more. So we're going to first raise things up with a pillar like we did on the second one. But then I want to take another cylinder and I want to intersect them here to basically make a doorknob shape, if you're looking at it from the side or the top here. And so I'll grab on the doorknob shape, and that first pillar that raises it up is actually going to act as a guard for my fingers as we move things while we're holding it. All right, so for my handle, I'd give it a B. For my print, everything looks great. I do have a little bit of roughness under here from my supports. I'm going to really have to play with supports with this material, but this is beautiful, and I can't even feel or see the layer lines, and everything I printed in more like standard settings. I'm not trying to go for fine detail stuff. But let's check out the design here. And so the idea with this design was that I would be able to grab it from the top, and this would probably be the direction that I would angle it in. So if the blade was here, I have this post that is in between my fingers and the blade. So I like this. Maybe I could even add a little bit of a shield if I felt that I wanted to. And I can even place my thumb on top of here, which is nice for pushing down. I have this big flat spot right here. So I can apply pressure while I'm moving this around. I definitely think I like this one and my pillar the best. I think the two of these really can work in tandem as well as, you know, depending on your situation, these are really good. I think these are a little bit less useful. This one could be good on a really big piece, but you know, the two clip thing actually is a little bit wasteful too, in that we have to have a whole bunch of extra base clips on there. Speaking of that, I found a really cool base clip. I'll link this one down below too, and it has screw holes. You can glue it, you can tape it. So this one works pretty good for all of our handles that we've designed here as well. Well, I hope we got some good designs. The files are free. They're linked down below, especially this one. This one to me is what I'm going to be personally using, probably with this guy, just because it's going to give added control and safety whenever I'm using my router table, which is great. Designing for this stuff, I didn't do anything that great. I added literally like 2 pieces to an already existing design, but in those 2 pieces that I added, I created some very different things that have very good uses for me here in the shop. So if you're new to 3D printing, you don't have to be scared. It is really easy to take things that are already out there, and there's millions of free files out there that you can adapt to your own needs. The 3D printing community is really awesome that way, that just there's a plethora of free stuff out there for you to be able to work with. Now, over on Elegoo's Centauri Carbon giveaway, it's actually 2 different printers you can choose from. It's the Saturn IV Ultra or the Centauri Carbon. So I have a link down in the description below. When you go to that link, you have to put in your name and your email address, and you get 2 entries into the giveaway if you join their newsletter. You get 1 entry if you subscribe to Elegoo's YouTube channel, and you get 1 entry if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Now, if you're already subscribed to me, you do get the entry. You just have to click it and then add in your name at the bottom, and it'll register that you're subscribed to my channel. So good luck on that. Hopefully you win a really awesome machine for the holiday season coming up. If you don't, Elegoo does have its Black Friday sale going on until December 1st, and so definitely check out that as well. I have a link. I have a ton of links in this video. They're all down in the description, so check out their sale. They have huge discounts on everything that Elegoo makes, including their carbon fiber filament, which I highly recommend. I've had 10 3D printers now, and I have many. 2, 4, 6. I have 8. I have 8 in the shop right now. This is the one that I have been printing with nonstop, and this is the only one that I have that I've been able to print carbon fiber with. You can alter other ones by getting other hardened nozzles and stuff, but it's not something I've done before. And so out of the box, being able to do that, very, very cool. I really like this material quite a bit. So if you got some good content out of this, I hope you'll like and subscribe. And as always, stay safe in the shop. I'll see you in the next one.